Hey, thanks for coming or coming back to Tokyo Bunny Gaming. In this economy, everyone needs a skill set, a particular set of skills to keep their job. So to keep my boss happy, I decided to learn the most treasured of all office skills, learning how to play Minesweeper. I'm playing the PS4 version here called Minefield, and I'm going for the achievement Grandmaster, which only 6.2% of players have obtained according to the PS4. So let's get started on the hardest setting, playing on hard with the largest field. Since we're working with a 28 by 20 square with 90 potential mines, we only have a 16% chance of hitting a mine. So selecting a random one, what's the worst that could happen?
Here we go.
Although studies by experts have found edges and corners to be safer compared to starting in the middle, with corners actually being the safest, I choose to start in the middle since I'm more likely to find lakes to open up other blocks. Furthermore, there are other causes where I can just get unlucky and have to start over, so starting over from move 1 is less tilting than starting over from round 30. So in the early stage, we want to be selecting tiles and opening up islands, essentially clearing a large swath of blocks immediately. These lakes are randomly placed, but since they help reveal a ton of numbers, they provide a lot of information which can then allow me to start flagging mines. The greatest benefit of these lakes opening up is that corners start appearing, which essentially guarantees the location of a mine. Any corner next to one essentially means that there's a mine located right under that square. But before going any further, let me explain what these numbers actually mean. Each number on the tile indicates that out of the 8 tiles surrounding or touching that number, how many of them have mines underneath. Using this information, we can determine which tiles have mines underneath them and which of them are safe to open. So my early game is focused on opening up the center of the board, slowly flagging mines and clearing out squares as I move towards the edges. This is due to the fact that most lakes tend to be located in the middle from my experience, so by working on the middle, I can clear out a large number of blocks quicker, revealing more information that will allow me to safely remove mines and work towards the corners. One thing I do often forget while clearing, but is always useful to keep in mind, is that whenever I open a block with a low number and I have already identified the mines in its proximity, it's free real estate to start opening the remaining blocks around that number because I know they are safe. As I continue to open blocks and move towards corners, I head into the mid game. Mid game is where I start heading into corners. The challenge with corners is that there's an increasing number of cases where I could just get stuck, and due to being in the corner with fewer surrounding blocks, I have less information available to identify the safe blocks that I can open. Although this phase is not too different from early game, the main challenge lies in slowly uncovering blocks one at a time. I have likely discovered all the lakes in the early stage, so there isn't any quick clearing of blocks now. Due to the number of blocks that have already been revealed, I find it more prudent to jump around the various corners, eliminating blocks as I get more information, and completing the corners slowly. I do want to be careful where I place my flags and still err towards the side of caution and not unnecessarily place an excessive number of flags, since I don't want to revisit my flag squares after initially finishing the board. As I clear 2 more corners and head into the final couple of blocks, I enter the endgame. Endgame is going to be the most stressful due to 2 factors. 1, the amount of time I've already spent clearing out blocks in the first place, and 2, the likelihood that I left the most difficult blocks until this last moment. Although a large majority of blocks can be removed with pure logic, there will be situations where I have to choose between 2 blocks with a 50-50 chance of either clearing a block and not hitting a mine in the process. As usual, I proceed slowly and use surrounding blocks and overlapping blocks to better identify the mines and uncover safe blocks. This becomes more pertinent when I face cases where I'm in a literal coin flip situation, forced to choose between red or blue. As you can see here, there are 2 blocks, one being safe and the other hiding a mine, giving me a 50-50 chance of guessing right. I can either try my luck here on the coin flip, or try to randomly select a box, hoping for a safe block. With 11 mines left and 46 blocks, I can also try to just randomly guess a square, since I only have a 24% chance of hitting a mine, even less if I make an educated guess. However, I don't want to rely on blind luck here, and so I decide to take the plunge.
Snake. Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
Unfortunately, sometimes luck just isn't on our side and we cut the wrong wire. However, I persistently kept going, unlocking the blocks calmly, and finally cleared the board.